What's going on, guys? It's Drama back with another episode of NBA Talk. And in today's episode, we ask the question, Warriors, Spurs, who you got? While nothing in the NBA is a sure thing, Kwame Brown,
this man was a bona fide scrub.
A playoff matchup between the Spurs and the Warriors is inevitable. Not only do the Warriors have a chance of breaking the Chicago Bulls regular season record of 72-10, but the Spurs also have a chance to crack 70 wins. We'd be lucky if one team in the season cracks 70 wins, but thank the basketball gods that this year we get two teams. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the Spurs and Warriors are going to meet in the Western Conference Finals, but the question is, who's going to come out on top? The first meeting between the Spurs and the Warriors took place in Oracle Arena, where the Spurs got absolutely dismantled, but they didn't have Tim Duncan, and LaMarcus Aldridge was playing good, but not nearly at the level he's been playing at recently. And coming into this game, there was a lot of talk about how the Warriors haven't won a regular season game since Tim Duncan was drafted first overall in 1997. I mean, let's just think about that for a second. Tim Duncan literally has no idea what it's like to lose to the Golden State Warriors in San Antonio. That's crazy. But this is only true in the regular season. If you remember in the 2013 NBA playoffs, the Warriors walked away with a Game 2 win, and they almost had Game 1 had they not blown a huge fourth quarter lead. Remember, that game went into second overtime, and Greg Popovich has been quoted to saying, "It really could have been anyone's game." But when you think about it, the Warriors of 2013 are nothing like the ones we know now, and you could even say the same for last year's team. So beating the Spurs in San Antonio seemed like a realistic idea, right? Well, without Ezeli, Bogut, or Iguodala, that proved to be too hard of a task for Golden State as the Spurs walked away with the win. But how'd they do it? Let's break it down. When you take a look at the team stats, the first thing that stands out to me are the assist numbers. No, not the 24 total assists by the Warriors, but the Spurs total of 17, which is 8 short of what they usually get. How did this happen exactly? Well, the Spurs went old school, and by old school, I don't mean afros and tube socks. I mean post-up basketball. In last year's finals, LeBron dominated the left block, allowing the Cavs to slow down the breakneck speed of the Warriors, and it worked for 2.5 games until Steve Kerr unleashed the beast known as David Lee. Now you're probably asking yourself, yeah, but why, Jaraman? Why does the post-up game work against the Warriors? Well, when you post up, it allows you to control the pace of the game, and it improves your transition defense. You usually have 3 or 4 players around the perimeter spacing the floor for the postman and ready to shoot if he decides to pass it outside. But when he does put up a shot and your game plan is to not crash the offensive boards, the Spurs are 6th worst in offensive rebounding. This allows those 3 to 4 guys on the perimeter to get back on defense quickly, so when the Warriors actually do get a defensive rebound, the defense is already set. And this is proven by the 11 fast break points the Warriors had, which is a little more than half of what they usually get. Lastly, let's talk about Steph Curry's offensive troubles. Danny Green has to be one of the best defenders I have ever seen when it comes to guarding the 3-point line, because he rarely bites on pump fakes, and if he does, his quickness and long arms allow him to get back to contest shots. Then you got Kawhi Leonard. I mean, what can I say? He can stop a grizzly bear from attacking Leo. In fact, he could probably stop Leo from accepting his first Oscar. That's how good he is on the defensive end. So no surprise there, but what impressed me the most were not the individual performances of Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard, but the team performance and role players stepping up, like Boris Diaw, who had an offensive rating of 81, and Patty Mills right behind him with 83, but most shockingly, LaMarcus Aldridge. I never thought I would say this, but the guy did extremely well when switched on to Steph Curry from pick and roll situations. Now don't get me wrong, I'm giving the Spurs a ton of credit for how they contained Steph Curry. It's just too naive to think that he will be held to 1-3 a game in a 7-game series. And I also got the sense that he could have drove to the basket and turned the corner a lot more than he did. You have to think that Steph is gonna figure it out. I mean, he's a great player, and great offense beats great defense every time. Now that's just what I saw from last Saturday's game, but the question is, if the Warriors and Spurs meet in the Western Conference Finals, and if you're a betting man, bet on it, who do you got? Spurs or Warriors? Let us know in the comment section below, as well as what you would like me to tackle in next week's episode of NBA Talk. My name's Jaron. It's been great having you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Nike ID doing nothing special with the box, so let's just open it right up. Combination 6, 6, 6. All right. Kobe and LeBron played each other for the very last time, and it was a pretty entertaining game, even though the Lakers kind of got blown out of the water. LeBron had this highlight play.